This is my super quick, delicious butter bean dip, which could be served just on its own with a lovely bit of bread or cracker. But today I've topped it with these zesty courgettes. Some are raw, some are very quickly cooked on a high heat. Loads of herbs, bit of lemon, bit of garlic. So simple, so fantastic, and makes a great side or vegan main. Let's make the beans. So these are going to form the base underneath the courgettes. It's a fantastic room temperature dish for the summer, but it's also like your emergency dip, and when you want an alternative to hummus, it is so fresh and delicious, and it is simple as can be. It is literally butter beans. This is a jar. I prefer the jars personally, that I have rinsed under cold water. I'm going to use some confit garlic cloves. If you don't have any to hand, you can use a clove or two of raw garlic. I just prefer the non-raw kind. And we're going to add a good amount of lemon juice and a good amount of olive oil to cream it up. If you want to, you can add tahini, but personally, I'd rather save the tahini for something else. Let's get blitzing. Gonna chuck in the beans. There's 3 lovely cloves of confit garlic, a good glug of olive oil, and the juice of a lemon. I'm gonna use my little widget here. A generous pinch of sea salt, because this needs flavor, and a hit of Aleppo pepper. Let's get whizzing. Honestly, that couldn't be simpler. I mean, look. For the courgette bit of this dish, it was actually inspired by one of the very first River Cafe books, where they made this delicious pasta with courgettes that you cut on these angles and you mixed with goat's cheese and you stirred through penne. And it was literally like one of the first dishes I made after I lived on my own, and still lives in my heart. But today we're not having it with pasta, we're having it with beans, we're having it at room temperature, we're not putting in the goat's cheese. The essence is there. Let's make it. Because I really love texture in my dishes, we're gonna have some of this with cooked courgette and some of this with raw. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the top half of these, the smaller bits of these courgettes, and I'm gonna mandolin them into rounds, and then I'm gonna leave them sit on their side, and we're gonna stir them through, and they will add this lovely kind of crunch texture to the slightly softer cooked courgettes that we're gonna make. And when courgettes are in season, like now, they come in these fantastic colors. So I say, make it as colorful as you can. I'm gonna just slightly salt these. Just gonna let them sit here while we get on with the rest of the dish. Here we've got our courgettes, and I'm gonna cut them in a kind of rolled fashion. I mean, I'm gonna cut them in half, and then I'm gonna cut them into triangles. And what you're gonna get are all these lovely exposed edges. It's gonna look fantastic at the end, and also they're not gonna get too soggy. This means they can sear on the outside and then still have some bite. And I'm gonna add a little bit of a yellow one because I want to have the color. I think it will just add a lot to the party. Do you know what? I'm going to use garlic oil today, just for extra punch. A good tablespoon of the garlic oil, but my pepperoncino's got caught in there, so I'm going to take that out. I don't want it to be too hot. And I'm going to let that warm, just get a bit hot, because I want them to really get some color. I'm also going to add a few confit garlic cloves to it. If you don't have confit garlic, as always, add some sliced garlic, but don't let it burn. And then I'm going to pop these in. You want them to be in one layer as much as possible. Courgette is definitely one of those slightly meh vegetables, I'm not going to lie. But when it's done like this with some chili and some extra flavor to it, it really can sing. Obviously, some salt. It needs some help here, so I'm going to not be shy. My little dish of Aleppo, because this really wants some heat to it. You can always slice a chili in here. It'd be fantastic if you really want to have a little extra heat and color. And I'm going to add a couple of garlic cloves into the mix, whole confit garlic. And these are just going to start bubbling away really nicely. You don't want to move them too much. You really want to let them color on one side before you turn them. Okay, they've literally had 5 minutes, and you can see as I've turned them over, the cut sides are all caramelized, but they still have a bit of bite to them, which is exactly what you want. You do not want soggy courgette here. They have released quite a lot of liquid, as they do, because courgettes are watery. But all in all, these look absolutely sensationally fantastic. Let's build the dish. Here are the beans that I whipped up earlier. In case you haven't noticed yet, there is a summer theme of a base and then piling the vegetables on top, like the herb salad with the tahini last year. But this is the next version of that. So, schmear, because we all know how much I love a schmear. Again, this could just be your dip. I love the flecks of Aleppo that appear. If you want to, you can shake this bean dish up with some Greek yogurt or some tahini. Anything really works. Right, we have the slightly cooled courgettes here that I grilled, and I'm going to add to them the raw slices because they're going to add some texture and some fun. And I've got some chopped basil and mint, and I'm going to stir everything together here so that the raw bits of courgette get coated in the lovely garlicky oil. This is like the perfect vegetarian option at a barbecue, by the way, in case you're ever looking for them. And now we're just going to pile it on. Look at those lovely charred bits. Imagine if it wasn't raining today and I'd cooked outside, how even more delicious that would be. Look, there's my clove of garlic. Be careful, but also it's delicious. As casual as you like here, little texture, and I am not going to waste, it's a bit hot, a bit of this oil, and I'm going to just drizzle it around the edge as a dressing. For a little summer freshness, or not even summer because dill isn't all year round, just a few dill sprigs, and just adds a lovely little zing. Squeeze of lemon juice and a scraping of lemon zest as well, because at the end it's just what this needs. So there we've got it, all the herbs, a generous pinch of sea salt, and there we have it. Courgette medley on a base of beans. It'd be rude not to tuck in, right? Just got to give it a little try. Got some garlic toast here, and I'm just gonna get a little corner. I'm such a mess. Make sure you're subscribed to never miss a recipe and follow along for kitchen fun.